Good morning. Here we go. Hi, kids. Good morning, everybody. It is, fuck, what day is it? It is February 15th. Oh my gosh. I think I'm a little bit off right now because of that horrible shooting uh, in Florida. Another one. I feel a little bit off, but I want to talk about something less depressing right now, and that's sex. But I want to just say real quick uh, to everyone out there, we need to stop this nonsense and we need to have a real discussion about it, and we need to stop looking the other way. And you know goddamn well, if it was your child that got killed, you would be up in arms and out there protesting and freaking out. So think of those 17 children as your children, and then see how you feel about it. Why are we still having this fucking discussion about guns? It's ridiculous. We cannot continue to have guns. Nobody knows how to deal with it. Just stop already. Okay, so I got that out of there because it's just depressing and it's made me feel very depressed already this morning, and I didn't want to have my day that way. So it kind of sucks. Anyways, kids, good morning, Vincent. Nice to see you. And Wendy and Casey, nice to see you. And thank you for sending me the link to the FDM condoms. Today we're going to talk about, Casey is on YouTube, but they sent me a message and said, "Can we talk about trans men and safe sex?" And I thought that's an awesome idea, and that's a great discussion to have. Good morning, Francisco. Nice to see you. I think it's a really important discussion. That I mean, there are trans guys having the discussion, but I don't think on the level we need to have it. I mean, I've been talking about it for a long time. Hi, Philip. I've been talking about it for a long time, and let me just say hi to everybody. Hi, Stan. Hi, Gregory. Hi, Leonard. Hi, Nick. Hi, Pedro. How come we're not having the safe sex discussion at a bigger level? We now have something called PrEP. All of you people out there know what PrEP is? Hi, Alexandra. Do all of you people out there know what PrEP is? If you don't know what PrEP is, I can talk to you about PrEP, but we also need to understand that we have tools now in order to move us forward and not be getting things, STIs, AIDS, HIV, how we can talk about having safe sex, how sex is important for you to have and important for you to understand that your body is your body and nobody else is responsible for you and your body except you. And that includes safe sex. So, what does that mean for trans men? What does safe sex mean for trans men? Does it mean abstinence? Does it mean how do we, as trans men who have vaginas, I'm specifically right now talking about trans men who have vaginas and who use their vaginas sexually. I know nothing about trans men and bottom surgery. It is not my thing. I wish I knew more, but I don't. I can't speak to it. So we need to find somebody who has bottom surgery. I'm not talking about men with bottom surgery this morning. I'm talking about men who have vaginas, who use their vaginas sexually, and how do we as men with vaginas have safe sex? Good morning, Smash. Nice to see you. Good morning, Jennifer. You're in line at the grocery store talking about safe sex. That's a good place to have it. But how? How do you have safe sex as a man with a vagina? Well, I'll tell you how I have safe sex as a man with a vagina. I use condoms. So let's say I'm going to have sex with a cisgender man, okay? And the cisgender man doesn't want to use condoms because many times I have been in that situation where I meet a cisgender man and I'm going to have sex with him and he doesn't want to use a condom, and I'm like, then we're not having sex. It's that simple, dude. And he's like, well, we can't do anything except have sex with a condom. So it's your responsibility, my friends, to make sure that you take care of your body sexually. And that means sexual health. Sexual health also means going and having your vagina checked, going to the doctor, the gynecologist, and talking to the gynecologist about your vagina as a man. Now, I actually have an appointment tomorrow with a really awesome gynecologist who's coming here from Utah. And she has a great practice in Salt Lake City, and she deals a lot with trans men. And so I'm going to hopefully be teaming up with this gynecologist to start talking and educating more gynecologists about us and our bodies. Because they cannot, good morning, Alex J. They cannot work on us. They cannot help us if they don't know about our bodies, right? Vincent says, question, is it like a normal pussy or is there a difference? Well, Vincent, I don't really know what a normal pussy is, but I will explain this to you. Yes, my vagina, and speaking of me, and also uh, speaking of other people, good morning, Zoe. Speaking of other trans men who I have actually filmed and seen their vaginas, what happens with men like myself is when we take testosterone, our vaginas actually expand on some, for lack of a better word. My clitoris has grown that size, hence why I made the buck off, which is that big of a hole. That said, yes, our vaginas change. Not only physically do they change, but also internally they change. When you take testosterone, you are now removing estrogen from your vagina. When you remove estrogen from your vagina, when you take testosterone, this is a dangerous thing and can actually affect your vagina in a negative way. It affected my vagina in a negative way. Why are we not having that discussion? I created a lubrication, the T-lube, in order to create conversation around why is your vagina dry? Why are your vagina hurting you since you started taking testosterone? Because testosterone takes out estrogen from your vagina. Look at how cisgender women go through menopause. Good morning. Good morning, Sylvia. Cisgender women go through menopause. It's exactly what's happening with our vagina on testosterone. When you put testosterone in your body, and you have a vagina, it will remove the estrogen. What happens to your vagina when you remove the estrogen? It starts to get dry. It doesn't function properly. It doesn't have vagina health. This is what we need to talk about. Are you supplementing with something? How much estrogen has been taken out of your body? Do you get your levels checked by the doctor? Has your doctor talked to you about putting estrogen into your body, and how do you do that? Are these questions that you even thought about before? Are these questions that you're asking your gynecologist? You should be asking your gynecologist these questions. What's happening to my vagina? Can you do a pap smear? Here's the most important thing. You must hear me right now. You must hear me right now. You must insist that your gynecologist gives you an ultrasound. An ultrasound. You must have an ultrasound. Now, let me show you specifically what an ultrasound is. When you go to the gynecologist, and the gynecologist does what we call a pap smear, and if you're not getting a pap smear as a transgender man, you're making a big mistake. I'm not kidding you. You're going to get sick, and something is going to happen to you, because I'm going to tell you what happened to me. After 20 years of using testosterone, well, actually, when this happened, I think I might have been 18 or 17 years on testosterone. Everything in my female reproductive system, and yes, it's a female reproductive system because I did not have a hysterectomy, because every single gynecologist told me, you don't need a hysterectomy. Everything looks fine when I do a pap smear. Little did they know, long-term use of testosterone atrophied. If you know what atrophy is, look it up. Atrophied my whole reproductive system. My uterus and my cervix fused together. Listen to me. My uterus and my cervix fused together, which, if you know anything about the reproductive system, ovaries, uterus, cervix, guess what? Your uterus creates stuff. It comes out through your cervix and outside of you, and that's the functioning vagina. It functions. This is what happens. But when it got closed off because of testosterone and atrophy, my uterus became a petri dish. which became something dangerous, which festered for years, which one day popped. Yes, the infection in my uterus popped. What happened to me? I became septic. Do you know what septic is? Basically, I almost died. I went to the hospital and they were like, holy shit, we've never seen anything like this in our whole lives. These are doctors. Are you listening to me? Do you understand what I'm saying to you right now? Do you understand the information that I'm giving you is life-saving? Why are we not talking about this? Why am I the only person who has even had any kind of voice in this? What is happening? It is crazy, Zoe, yet nobody talks about it. Every time these young kids come to me and they're like, Trampa, I'm having these cramps in my lower system. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking... Yes, Trampa, it hurts me right here, but the doctor keeps telling me that I'm normal. No, that's not normal. If you are a trans man and you are having any type of cramping that feels like period cramps or feels cramping down by your reproductive system and you haven't had a hysterectomy, get to the doctor now. Atrophy is happening. Atrophy is happening. I am telling you, you must listen to me. Go to your gynecologist, tell them exactly what I just told you, and tell them they have to do an ultrasound on you. If you don't do an ultrasound, you're never going to know. It's just that simple. I suggest, though I'm not a doctor, and this is not a doctor telling you this, it's only my suggestion because of my story, that you are 5 years or more on testosterone, get to the doctor and talk to them about a hysterectomy, even if they're telling you no. I'm telling you yes. If you are planning on taking long-term use of testosterone and you are not checking out your vagina, you are going to be in serious health problems pretty soon. Trust me on that. You must take care of your vagina. Either get a hysterectomy, look into what's happening in your body with the testosterone. Are you supplementing your body with estrogen? Because your body needs estrogen as well as testosterone. It is scary, Francisco, and I don't understand why we're not talking about it. Stacy says, why isn't anyone else talking about this? You tell me, Stacy. I've been screaming it out of my fucking mouth since this happened to me over 5 years ago. But it seems like it's running on ears that no one wants to listen, and why I'm going to see a gynecologist tomorrow to discuss making a whole program around my health and getting it to the gynecologist. That's what I'm doing right now because it just seems fucking hell. Like I'm screaming and blank ears. Nobody wants to hear it. Even trans men don't want to hear it. It's unbelievable. So Vincent says, good to know before I have anything done. Yes. Smash says, in Australia, they don't encourage us to have hystos. They think it's unnecessary. I was having those issues and I had... See? Smash had the same problem. This same problem. Oh, good morning, Rochelle. Nice to see you. Good morning. Francisco, yes! And why I'm going to see a gynecologist to have a business meeting with her to talk about how do we get this into... I need to go to gynecological conferences and I need to speak to all of them because it happened to me. It's going to happen to you. Duh. Can I have some coffee? Let's talk about it. So, good morning, Roberta. We're talking about trans men's sexual health. We're talking about trans men and their vaginas. We're talking about vaginal health. We're talking about hysterectomies. We're talking about long-term use of testosterone on your body and how it can affect you if you still have your reproductive system and your vagina. I'm only talking to men with vaginas today. I'm not talking about men who have bottom surgery, though you can still have bottom surgery and have your vagina, but I'm not talking about men who completely go and have their vagina changed into a penis. I don't know anything about that. It is not my expertise. I'm much more of an expert on my vagina and the health problems I've had with my vagina. And it's why I can speak to you about this, because it happened to me. So, you're welcome, Alex J. Take that information out there. Jennifer says, even though my daughter has GRS, she still needed to get her prostate checked. That's the other thing. Why are trans women not talking about their prostates? I can't do that. I made a PSA with a transgender woman about a prostate exam, and I think I'll make a new one actually. I think I need to make some new ones. So, really, let's talk about our genitals. Let's talk about our sexuality. Let's talk about our sexual wellness and our sexual health. No one else is going to do it. No one gives a fuck about us if we don't give a fuck about ourselves. Look, it's not the problem of the doctors. The doctors have no information because nobody's giving the doctors information. It's like, look, if a guy works on Toyotas, but you bring your Kia in, and he doesn't know shit about how to work on a Kia, but he knows goddamn well how to work on a Toyota, whose problem is that? You need to either take it to a dealer that knows how to deal with the Kia, or you need to train your mechanic on how to work on your Kia. It's pretty simple. I don't understand this idea that we don't have to teach. Of course we have to teach. Every day we should be teaching the whole world about us. The more we teach about us, the more respect we get, the more doctors will work on us with expertise, and the more we will have a healthy environment within our community. What the fuck? I don't get it. Take responsibility for your own health. Philip says, I know 2 trans guys who keep having menstruation issues, cramping, and they're in denial over the fact that they need a hysterectomy. Well, they're making a big mistake, Philip, and you send them over to this right here today and have them listen to it and watch it. I mean, that's just ridiculous behavior. It's totally in denial. You're in denial. If your body is hurting and you feel like shit and you're not sure why you're cramping inside, you're in denial. Get to the doctor. Pingwing TV says, I just checked for an interview with you on YouTube and found you actually being live. Oh, great. Austria? Oh, good morning, Austria. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about trans men health, sexual health. We're talking about vaginal health. We're talking about hysterectomies. We're talking about the long-term use of testosterone on your vagina and the things that you will experience if you do not go to the doctor. I don't understand trans men who don't go to the doctor. What is that? Are you scared? Are there any trans men in the room? Are you scared? Zoe says, I got poked regularly. LOL. They came out wrong. But as a trans woman, prostates are super... Yes, totally, Zoe. Totally. Deanna says, good morning, Buck. Good information to know. I have a friend who's trans, and he has been on testosterone for almost a year. Thankfully, he's getting a hysterectomy. Yes. Now, I want to talk about how soon to get a hysterectomy, when to get a hysterectomy, all of those things are partly personal and partly medical. This is what I'm going to say from my own experience. I should have got a hysterectomy years before I ever did. I didn't do it until 17 years or so on testosterone, which fucked me up and I got really sick. That said, nobody knew. Today, I have the information for you. If you are planning to go on long-term for the rest of your life on testosterone, you better talk to your doctor about a hysterectomy. You better talk to your doctor about vaginal health and how to use estrogen in order to keep your vagina functioning healthy. Casey says, I hate my manhole touch. Then don't touch it. It doesn't matter. You still have to take care of your vagina whether or not you want to have sex or not. It doesn't matter. Sex doesn't have anything to do with vaginal health. Nothing. Vaginal health is part of you being a healthy person. Whether or not you use your vagina sexually or not, you still use it. It's still part of your body. You still are there with it. If you don't get it checked and you don't look at it, what's happening to it, you will get very sick from it. I almost will guarantee you that. Philip says one of them even having issues with their T levels being far too little in their body and their estrogen is through the roof. I don't go to the doctor. Casey says it's the reason I'd rather have a toothache than a pap smear, which is why I've elected to eventually have a vagin. Casey, it doesn't matter. If you have a vagina today, you have to go to the gynecologist. That's it. If you're denying it and avoiding it, you're avoiding health and you are actually giving yourself health problems. I'm telling you right now. It's that simple. If your car doesn't run, you take it to the mechanic. It's the same thing. Francisco says, not teaching this as to further marginalization of the trans community. Duh! Alex J says, I finally found a doctor in my small, tiny town that is going to help me start my transition. Right on, my friend. Joey says, my body does not accept dissolvable stitches, so I've been told I cannot have a hysterectomy or I will die. What? Like, what nearly happened with my top surgery? I take a small amount of tea and make sure I have a break so I also bleed and clear out of my system. Any advice? What? I've never heard that, Joey. Go get another opinion. Go get another opinion. There's other ways to do hysterectomies or something. Go get another opinion. But if I was you, even on low testosterone, I would have an ultrasound. An ultrasound, not just a regular pap smear. A regular pap smear only goes to your cervix. It doesn't go to your uterus. And that was the problem for me. Pedro says, in a new thing for everyone, trans men is new in this society. Smash says, a lot of trans guys find it confronting to go have checkups. Buck, do you still see a gyno? Yes, of course I still see a gyno. You still have to, even after a hysterectomy, because there's other things, especially if you're sexually active. What about STDs and things like STIs and all these other things? You need to be checked out. It's just a normal functioning. You go get an oil change on your car. Think of a pap smear as an oil change. That's all. And yes, lots of men, lots of transgender men, and possibly transgender women have an issue with going to have their genitals checked. But you can't have an issue. You can't. You have to be proud. You have to be okay. You have to know it's your body, and you have to not give a shit what people think about you. That's just the bottom line, and that's the only way you're going to get through it. Joey says, I'm 1 in 10,000. I sent you a link to my film about it called Z. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Joey. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, let's have a little coffee, and then I'm going to talk real quick about some good sexual health tips that I have for you. And if you have any questions for me, I'm not the expert. I only go off of my own place and my own truth and my own story and how I have sex and when I have sex and why I have sex and all of those things. So I'm not the expert. There is no expert. You're the expert of your own body. But it's good to get other feedback and knowledge of how to do it. Remember, there is no other expert than you when it comes to your sexual health, your body, all of that. That said, if you are having sex, I highly encourage you to go to the doctor. If you have a vagina, have your vagina looked at before you start becoming super sexually active. It's very important. Number 1. Number 2, use condoms. Use condoms. Have safe sex. Okay, let me just tell you something. I actually do give blowjobs with a condom. When I give a blowjob to a cisgender man, I use condoms. Lots of people hate that. They get totally offended by it. I don't give a fuck if you're offended by my use of condoms. Fuck you. That's my body. If you don't want me to suck your dick or have sex with you, then go away because we're using a condom. But don't let people shame you into using condoms. That's totally bullshit. Of course they don't want to use a condom for whatever reason, but that's not your concern. Your concern is making sure you use a condom for your sexual health. And the minute anyone says to you, we're not going to use a condom, walk away. One of the other things that's happening that I noticed is men with penises tend to remove the condom secretly during sex. Did you hear me? Some cisgender men remove the condom secretly while they're having sex. Make sure you pay attention to what's going on while they're having sex, because this is a real thing and it fucking happens. It's disgusting behavior. It's totally irresponsible. It actually is disrespectful to you when somebody removes the condom secretly. Okay? It is not okay. It is not okay when that happens. So when that happens, you get the fuck out of there, and also you should report that person, because that is complete and total disregard for your sexual health. What the fuck? I mean, I would not be cool with that. Let me tell you, you don't want to take the condom off secretly with me. I will make sure you never forget that. It is disgusting, disgusting behavior. So that said, what am I going to say to you again? It's your responsibility, your sexual health, your body. Take care of it. So the things I recommend that you do is get lubrication. Lubrication is very, very important. As you know, I created a lubrication called T-Lube. I created it for us. It is good for your vagina. It has only good It has only T-Lube. It has only good ingredients, okay? I would never make a product for you if I didn't use it myself. So I tested this product out. Before I got it out on the market, and it is phenomenal. And I'm not saying that because it's mine. And, you know, I don't make money off of it, really. I make it as inexpensive as possible for you. Right now it's on sale on my site for like 11 bucks or something. It's worth it. This right here, I worked hard to get to make this for us, okay? It wasn't easy. Nobody wanted to do it. But I made this for us. Not only because you need to have this, it is very, very, very good for your vagina. Number one, you can use it every day as a natural moisturizer to put inside your vagina. If you're having irritation and dry, it will actually make it feel better. It's all natural ingredients. It's all organic. It is good for you. I would not put out a product. That said, use whatever lube you want. I'm just showing you mine because I created it for us. So, if your vagina is getting drier and drier as you are using testosterone, good morning, Mike. Nice to see you, and good morning, everybody. There's a reason that's happening. Testosterone removes estrogen from your body. If you are a trans man who has a vagina and it's getting drier, it's because of the testosterone removing the estrogen. That said, for now you can try to use some lube, this lube by Sliquid, or any other lube you want to use, and you must get to the gynecologist. When you get to the gynecologist, it can start to talk to you about vaginal health. Now, are you supplementing your body while you're injecting testosterone? Are you also putting something in your body that is leveling out your hormones? Do you have estrogen in your body? This could be the problem. The more you use testosterone, the less estrogen is in your body. Your vagina needs estrogen to function properly. I cannot say it enough. If you are having cramping in your lower region, if you have not had a hysterectomy, and you are on year 2 or so of testosterone, you are having what's called atrophy. And atrophy, not looked upon or looked at, can turn into something very bad health-wise for you. I almost died from it. I am not kidding you. I can show you everything. It's a real fact. Alex J says, can I use the lube as a menopausal F to M that is not on T? Yes, of course. Actually, anybody with a vagina can use this lube. It's made for vaginas. So I only label it as a transgender man lubrication to get the word out there, because we need to start talking about our health. Do you know what this does? It sits on the shelf of a gynecological office, and when you walk in and you see T-Lube, you know that your gynecologist is trans-friendly. That's the point. Really, the biggest point of this it's not for me to become famous or to make $1 billion off you. That's not even going to happen. The point of this lube is to start the conversation in a community of medical professionals that know nothing about our vaginas. This just talks about it. It's a product. Products create visibility. Visibility creates change. It's a chain reaction. It just goes like this. The more you support these products, the more we get them out there, the more we talk about our vaginal health. It's our responsibility. Nobody else's. Casey says, is Planned Parenthood carrying it? No, but I'm actually looking to get in touch with them right now. So anybody that has any connections for me at any hospitals, if your gynecologist is great, please send them to me, okay? So that I can reach out to your gynecologist and get them to carry this product. If you know any gynecologists, if you know any doctors, if you know anybody that you think could benefit from our lube, please send me the information, because I'm working very hard to get this into every gynecological office, every hospital, a Planned Parenthood, everywhere where transgender people are medically dependent upon. If we don't do it, nobody else will. So that's the deal. I need to get into the Planned Parenthood main office. So I'm doing a little research on that. So Crystal says, Tuesday I'm leaving Utah. Oh, way to go, Crystal. Get out of there. It's cold over there. Much better in California. So it's nice to see you, and I'm happy that it seems like you're doing better at that thing. That's great. So get to California and get yourself settled, and you'll be okay. Remember what I said? Take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody will. Okay, kids, it's 9 o'clock. Trampo's got to go. Oh, no, Crystal. It's okay. The universe didn't want you to have the car. You can't even afford to have the car, so get rid of the car. That's the way I look at it. If you can't afford to have it, get rid of it. If you have a car and the car payments are killing you and you're stressing out over it, get the fuck rid of it. Take the bus and the subway and everything else. But don't get rid of things that are stressing you out in your life, okay? Get rid of the things that are bringing you down, that are overweighing you down because of money problems. Remove all of those problems. When you remove all of those problems and you simplify your life, all you need right now is a toilet, a place to cook some food, and a bed to lay down. That's all you need. Simplify. Once you simplify, your mind will clear and you can move forward on top of that. But when you put all kinds of things on top of you, you're never going to crawl out of that, and you're never going to be feeling okay enough to move forward in your life, because we tend to pile too much shit on top of us, because this fucking country is so much about how many things do you have? How many iPhones do you have? How many computers do you have? How many baseball hats do you own? How many pairs of running shoes do you have? Bullshit behavior. Bullshit behavior. Deborah says, go fight for those who can't, Buck. You're important. We need you. I love you too, my friend. Thank you. So, in that, I have to leave you kids because I got a lot on my plate today. So, to YouTube, I love you kids a lot. Thank you guys always for having the conversation. Please point the people that you know who are suffering in our community with vaginal dryness, with cramping, irritation. They don't know what's going on, to this video. It will teach them about their vagina for a moment, and maybe they'll make the positive choice to go to the gynecologist. Okay, kids? I'll be talking more about this later, but now I have to go. So I love you very much. Have a beautiful, awesome